Okay, weight distribution on your mountain bike. So typically when you're riding your mountain bike, especially when you're going downhill, you want to be in what's called the attack position. And in the attack position, you have about a 50-50 weight distribution here. 50% of your weight on the back tire and 50% of your weight on the front tire. And you could tell you're in the attack position by the ability to lift your hands off the handlebars. So if you're able to lift your hands off the handlebars, you have an even weight distribution on your bike. And one advantage of being in this attack position at all times is your ability to lean forward really quick to load the front tire with a little more weight. And going into a turn, you want to load your front tire. And the reason for having a little more weight on your front tire going into a turn is traction. And you want maximum traction on a turn because a lot of beginners tend to lean back, and when you lean back you put more weight on the rear tire, and by having less weight on the front tire it will tend to wash out, it'll tend to skid, it'll slide, and then when you skid and slide you lose control over your bike, and that tends to lead to wipeouts. Okay, so remember, be in the attack position, 50-50 weight distribution. Okay, so you could see in that short video that I was in the attack position and I went up through this hillside trail, and towards the bottom here you can see that I leaned forward, I crouched a little bit, and that's just to load the front tire with a little more weight. And I want maximum traction with this front tire so it does not wash out. So you want maximum control over your mountain bike. When you go into a turn, put a little more weight on that front tire, get maximum traction for the most control on your mountain bike. Okay, taken from race cars, we have an example of going through a series of 4 turns fast and the same set of 4 turns but slow. And these are 2 different lines here. And the concept applies to motorcycle racing, car racing, bike racing, mountain bike racing. And you don't actually have to race, but this is a good concept to understand when you're biking through single track trails or fire roads for that matter. Okay, the driver sets up on the left hand side for this right hand turn. And he comes into the turn, brakes late, and initiates the turn. And he brakes late and turns late because when he makes the turn he wants to make sure that he's on the right hand side here for setting up for this turn 2, which is a left-handed turn. So for right-handed turns you want to set up on the left-hand side. For left-handed turns you want to set up on the right side. So you can see the line here, brakes hard, turns in late, sets up on the right-hand side, hits turn 2 right at the apex, and he's on the left hand side for this right hand turn. Perfect. Hits the apex here, sets him up for turn number 4. Okay, here's the slow line through, and the driver's on the left hand side and takes the turn early. And by taking the turn too early he'll hit the apex, but the momentum will swing him wide here to the left side of the track. Hits the apex at turn number 2, swings him over to the right hand side, takes turn 3, which will swing him out here. And a lot of times you'll see wipeouts in motorsports where because they take this line, his momentum will take him out here off the track. And on a mountain bike, on a downhill single track, if you take this sort of line, when you hit turn 2 and you're going downhill you might carry too much speed and you might not make this turn here. Your momentum will carry you out here. And even if you can make this turn number 2, you might not make turn number 3, where you'll start to turn, but your momentum will swing you out here. And out here might be bushes, it might be trees, it might be the edge of the mountain. So remember these concepts. The concept of turning in late and being on the right hand side for a left-handed turn and being on the left-hand side for a right-handed turn. Okay? Okay, here's an example of a single track. It's a bit wide here. It's more like a double track, but it's an S-type turn here, and you could approach this coming in at speed on the right-hand side. Set yourself up for that left-handed turn. So you come in here. You'll hang that left right through here, trying to stay on the left-hand side because we got a right-handed turn coming up, and then we'll initiate that turn right through here. So it's a nice smooth line coming in, and it'll look something like this. So here we have the line, imaginary line that you could take. Come through here, set yourself up on the left-hand side for this right-hand turn coming up, and take it on through. Okay. Okay, we have another slight S-type turn, not quite as pronounced as the previous example, but the concept is still similar, where we have a slight left-handed turn coming in here. So we'll approach it on the right-hand side. So your line will be something like right. Cut it over to the inside here. And the immediate right to stay on the right-hand side to negotiate this left-hand turn coming up. So your line would look something like right. Cut it on the inside, make an immediate right, stay on the right-hand side of the trail here, and then cut it on over to the left-hand side, setting yourself up for this left-hander at the end here. Okay? Okay, we have another single track and a big sweeping left-hand turn here, and it's a little bit different from the S type of turns where we don't have much room here. Have about 2 feet left to right. And in this particular turn, we don't need to use the technique of going outside to inside to outside. What we're going to do here is, because we have a mountainside here, we could use this edge right here as a little berm. So the line we would take is something like this, where we could stay to the outside here and initiate the turn and line up our tires with the edge of the mountainside, use it as a berm, and rip it right on through. Okay, so try and apply these concepts to your local trails. I'm sure your local trails have typical S-type turns and big sweepers like this, and anytime you could use a little edge or a berm, use it. It'll improve your traction and improve control on your mountain bike. Okay? Have fun, and I'll see you on the trails.